The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Black Lincoln Collective, its guests, or decent human beings. You have been warned. The robot revolution will begin in 3, 2, 1.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Welcome to the Black Lincoln Collective Podcast.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. We can stay up late, swapping manly stories, and in the morning, I'll make it pop.
With your host, Parker. Featuring the sultry sounds of Fred and also Allan on the board.
Let's go already!
And now, let's start the damn show.
Welcome, one and all, to the 75th edition of the Black Lincoln Collective Podcast. We are so glad you joined us this morning, evening, afternoon, or night. Or is there something else? Did I miss one?
I don't know.
Morning,
Sound
evening,
like,
afternoon, night.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it, I think.
Yeah, I think.
And we're representing different ones. See, I am representing the morning because it's barely light in my room. Allan is representing midday, and Fred is representing 2 a.m. when mistakes are made. It's fucking neon lights. As always, Fred is sponsored by Vizio. And the Live Corporate, and Live the band. Remember,
Yeah, Live the band.
Live Crashers. So of course,
Young
like I
mother dies.
I love that song. That's what it was about. Why are they like the best, the happiest, coolest sounding songs? Like,
Yeah,
it's sad.
So
This is the way it is. But of course, we're so happy you're here. I'm, of course, your host, Parker. I'm joined by my buddies, Freddie and Allan on the board. How are you gentlemen tonight?
Good, chilling.
Are you guys...
I'm in my
okay, well,
mode.
I was going to say, I don't know if you are making a mistake right now by being in that dark room, because your ass is going to get haunted tonight.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm setting the mood. I want the ambiance.
For you, yeah.
I'm setting the mood.
The rest of for me, the rest of the world is bleak, so it's fun. It's always fun. So don't worry. No, I'm just kidding. We have a humongous guest.
Uh-oh.
Can't wait to have her on. It's our annual Scared the Shit Out of Us Monday or whatever show. Scared the Shit Out of Us show. Where do we do that? I should have just said that at the beginning. Allan, please welcome on and usher on to the stage my lovely wife. Oh, I'm sorry, my ex-girlfriend.
So she's not your wife.
She's my ex-girlfriend because she hates it so much. And I read that once and I was like, that's the funniest thing. I have to do that.
Yeah,
Welcome to the show, darling.
You almost forgot.
I did. I always
We've been joking about it for a week and you almost forgot. But it's
Well,
okay.
we planned. This is very carefully choreographed, Fred, as you can tell, as always.
Right, exactly. Always.
So, welcome to the show. As I said, dear, we are very excited because everyone, all the people in our audience, listened to the last edition of what was it then? Shayna's Creep Corner.
Grim and Ghastly, I believe.
It was like Shayna's. No, it was like her dark edges or something.
No,
Coffin Corner.
No.
It's like Coffin Corner or something.
it was like you said something like backdoor.
Backdoor
Yeah.
alley.
Yeah.
Back alley darkness or
Back
something
alley,
like
yeah.
Back alley mysteries.
This is the Back Alley Returns. Revenge of the Back Alley.
That's right. Down the hallway. So, of course, like I said, we welcome you on. We're contractually obligated to bring you on once a year to
Because I
scare
like
the
to use
shit
my
out of
internet.
us
Yeah.
with our murders, with your murder talk.
This is
So-
not that scary.
It sounds scary so far.
Murder that's not scary.
Seeing Fred in the darkness is scary enough.
Shayna
It's hard
puts
for me to
the
recognize him.
Shayna puts the fun in funeral.
Amen to that.
That's my email signature.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Maybe I'll
You
just
can
start
do
a
a
mortuary
funeral.
like that. The funnel.
Sure
It's
they
just
would
like, come
love
on.
it.
No reason to be
Betty.
sad.
Yeah.
Do it.
That's the funeral home that props up the guys like on the motorcycle and shit.
It's all Weekend at Bernie's theme. So do you want him to be in a tropical luau or
You can say
riding a motorcycle?
the weekend at Bernie's package.
Yeah.
You can keep your body over the weekend and
Let you do whatever the fuck you want with it.
yeah.
It'll be great. We'll even hire a photographer. We can cross the boat. We'll get a photographer to follow you around.
You do
And just take pictures of it the whole time.
do like a montage, like a fashion montage.
One last selfie. So you have for us this evening, and Allan, I think, has some scary music.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Of course he does.
You didn't do that yet.
No, you didn't tell me about the scary music. You said you were going to do it.
You didn't do a fart in the beginning of the show.
I did.
Yes,
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay, studio audience.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
yeah.
You nose blind.
I was nervous.
You got nose blind to it. You can't, you can't smell it.
I can't hear it. No, that's the problem. Is like you enjoy the smell of your own business.
Right.
So, but anyway, that has nothing to do with the show.
All right.
So
you need some scary music?
yeah, give me some scary. You got some scary music? Fire it up.
Right here.
I'm walking on sunshine.
They did the mash.
Okay, that's all I have.
All right, I'll do my Beatles songs. That'll scare her. So tell us about your spooky mystery hallway.
It's not spooky.
So this
Stories
is
It's just crime.
just straight up murder.
Just straight up murder.
Murder.
If anything, it's a little fun
Okay.
because you don't know what's
Fun murder,
coming.
Fred.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know. So it's an old one. It takes place.
Oh,
It starts
see?
out in 1922.
Oh my goodness, Shayna.
Things were different then. You could just kill people back then. It was okay. It was fine.
Yeah, man, see?
Yeah.
Take him out. Man.
All right. So it was August 22nd, 1922. And Dolly and Fred Osterich, they had gone
Oh,
out to
Fred.
a party.
Be free.
In the
That was
darkness.
his name.
Look out
Don't worry,
behind you, Fred.
he dies just like you.
Oh, am I the
so
murderer?
it's fine.
What kind of game of Clue are you playing?
So they went to a party with their friends. They got home. It was about 11 o'clock. Dolly goes upstairs and their coat closet was up there. So she goes to put her coat in the closet and all of a sudden she gets pushed into the closet. She hears the door shut, locked behind her, and she thinks, of course, what the fuck is Fred doing? Why did he lock me in the coat closet? As any person would.
As what as a real Fred does all the time.
Like, what's wrong with my husband?
Classic Fred prank. Lock you in the closet.
So, but then a few minutes later, she hears some loud banging noises. So a few minutes later, the cops arrived because the neighbors heard banging. They got worried. So they called the cops. The cops show up. They open the door.
Nobody was banging in the 20s.
We're banging all right.
And the shocking thing was that Fred had been shot 3 times while she was locked in the coat closet.
That was I told you I was a murder victim.
That's the good alibi.
I was locked in the closet, man.
You didn't think you'd be the first one to die out of the 4?
I
This
mean,
is 90s horror movie.
I was
the
going to say,
token
if you
murder.
see horror movies, we knew it was
1920s
coming.
The listeners were like, don't listen, Fred. Don't listen.
Take your headphones off.
So, anyways, when the officers got there, they took Dolly out of the closet. The weird thing was the key to lock the closet. What?
He said out of the closet.
We're going to need to get over that.
I told you, you got to push through us.
Talk a lot about the closet.
Well, I can't wait.
So the key to unlock the closet was sitting on the table right beside the closet itself, which was strange that whoever locked her in there just sat it there so the police could find it. Open up the
Right.
door. They
Yeah.
heard her screaming. So anyways, they questioned her and, asked, was there anything going on? Do you think there's anyone who was like out to get you guys? What do you think happened? And she told police, she said, it's been really weird because there's been about 2 or 3 times where we came home and we thought we might have been robbed, but it was just small things like his cigars would be missing. Or, just little things like that. So we didn't report it, but we do think someone's been in our house.
Yeah.
Well, the police investigated because they thought at first it was like a robbery that ended bad. Like these people were in there, but why did they push her into the closet and then shoot him?
Yeah.
Like on the second floor.
Might as well just shot her too.
Right. So anyways, they did some investigating.
They did some in the closet.
Yeah.
They did some investigating and
All right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting.
There's more to it. There's more to it. You don't know everything just yet.
I don't. I'm sitting in suspense here.
Oh yeah. It looks like it.
So they did some investigating, and the only thing that was missing was Fred's diamond pocket watch.
Diamond pocket watch in the 1920s?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And he kept it in his upper pocket.
Also, Fred's heartbeat was missing. Sorry. Continue on, please.
Yes, continue.
So the weird thing is, though, where he kept his pocket watch is the same place he kept his wallet, and his wallet was still there, and it had hundreds and hundreds of dollars in it. So they took his watch, but left his wallet in there.
Fred was balling. What did Fred do? What was his occupation?
Fred owned an apron company.
How can you could ball on aprons?
Apron money, but aprons, there were a lot of servants and people in the 20s, man.
Yeah, you were all the kids we used to wear aprons to eat and all that.
Yeah, dude, that was cool.
It was, I mean, aprons were aimed at
Aprons.
Aprons. Fine.
So he was an apron baron.
Yes.
Fred the apron baron.
And what's funny is,
what does Dolly do?
It's 1920. She don't do shit.
Yeah.
She don't do nothing.
Well, she killed.
That's
She killed him. That's what I wanted.
For a job.
This started to sound like the prequel to Chicago.
Was it in Chicago?
No, it was in LA. That's what I said.
LA.
Which you know is going to go great because the LAPD in the 1920s.
They were dirty.
How amazing they were.
Yeah, they were dirty shit.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was out for the money.
Exactly. So, anyways, let's take it back to the beginning before we get to there.
Let's rewind.
Since you asked about Fred and what he did.
Yeah.
So Dolly, I'll tell you about Dolly first, because she's the main character of all this. So Dolly, actually, they think she was born in Germany.
Oh. Schnitzel.
In the 1880s. Her name was Walburga, but they called her Dolly for short.
Walburga. Oh, like
her grandson would be the
great grandson.
Yeah, she went from one shitty name to another.
But
you're a Wahlberg. She's like, call me Donnie.
You're named after your great grandmother.
Who was a? No, I'm not gonna say it.
Who may have been a murderer.
Allegedly.
So, anyways. Not much is known about her until she was a teenager. She lived in Milwaukee. And when she was in Milwaukee as a teenager, she started working in Fred's apron plant.
Also known as Milwaukee.
Her way to the top.
Exactly. Jeffrey Dahmer. So
what were your thoughts on the Jeffrey Dahmer?
Mine?
Yeah, Fred loved it.
I didn't see it.
I thought the show was good, but
I heard it's gory.
It was cool. Well, I mean, it was Jeffrey Dahmer. People who think it was gory obviously don't know what the actual story was.
Yeah, I know.
The man
like
killed people and ate them for God's sake. I mean, how can you not be gory?
Yeah.
He just cuts off a little piece at a time. What I mean?
Yeah, this is Hannibal Lecter style.
Yeah.
It bothered me more that a lot of people on Facebook and things like that were like, oh, Jeffrey Dahmer's so hot. And I'm like, no,
Sexualizing him. Yeah.
I mean, he
Yeah.
didn't even season his meat.
Well, he was white, Fred or Allan. So
Yeah, he was eating black people. So.
yeah,
He was. Actually, he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
he was.
Okay, sorry, Carrie.
All right, no,
I just
that's
wanted
okay.
to know because none of us watched it, and we owe it to the people to
Yeah.
that they know our opinion.
They
It was-
may have. Yeah.
It was I thought it was a good show that explained
Okay.
the story.
If you're into Jeffrey Dahmer, tweet the show at twitter.com/BLC World.
Yeah. Hashtag
Hashtag bang.
Dharma drama.
There you go. Dahmer. Dahmer.
Dahmer
If you can
drama.
spell that. All right. Okay. So I didn't want to bang Jeffrey Dahmer. I also didn't watch the show though.
I remember when it happened. I mean,
Jeffrey Dahmer
Yeah.
would have loved you. You would have made so many meals.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm too chewy.
Chewy.
You're like this is there's a lot of fat on these cuts. Cheap meat.
Chewy.
Okay.
So it would have been like I only had to chase him for 6 feet, and then he gave up.
I was walking behind him. I just clipped him up. You know how when you sweep somebody's back leg when they're walking?
He was just like, he
He's mine.
walked up to me and he was like, "Hey, I'm going to kill you and eat you unless you run away." And I was like, "Well, shit."
I guess I'm
Just
dying
poured
today.
poison in my freezer.
I always knew it was going to end like this.
Yeah, I knew it. He finally had his revenge.
Okay,
right.
go ahead.
Anyway,
So, anyways, Dolly
Dolly's
and Fred
banging her way
start,
up the corporate ladder.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yes. So Dolly and Fred start dating, and he's a lot older than her. But so anyway, she becomes like the person, you know, everyone in the factory like goes to Dolly about everything because Fred's kind of an asshole,
Right.
and
Yeah,
so they usually are. So, anyways, Dolly, like everyone at work's everyone at work likes her. She's supposed to be like a really cool, sweet, kind of, you know, fun girl. Like
Right.
the guys all like
flapper.
her. Yeah. The
She's
guys
all
all like
flapping.
her. She's,
Flapping
like,
in the
cool
wind
like
there.
that.
So I
Yeah.
want to see your meat
she's a
aprons, doll.
whore.
Tell me the name of the show is not going to be meat aprons.
Please don't make that the segment. Meat aprons.
That'll be the name of this
Meat aprons.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, anywho,
So after a few years, they get married. And in 1910, they had a little baby.
Uh-oh.
His name was
so how,
Raymond.
what's the age difference between? Is it like
I don't really know. They
Doesn't say.
don't
It
know.
don't say.
They don't.
specify
They don't know
how-
exactly how old, like what year she
Just
was
curious.
born,
Just curious.
because they don't
Yeah.
even know really
that's right,
where she
that's
was
right.
born. It was like in the late 1800s.
Yeah.
when you could just walk 2 miles
Right.
and
Right.
start a new life.
Right. So they don't know
That's it.
exactly, but probably
Yeah,
they think
okay.
about 10 years or so. I mean,
Okay.
he was
Yeah,
a good
at
bit
least.
older.
At
Yeah,
least
he was a good
10
bit older
years.
than
I'm just trying to
because-
figure out how old they were when she
Yeah.
had their kid.
Well, he died.
She was probably like 14.
He died because of the kid.
No, the kid died.
Oh, the baby died? Oh,
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
poor little baby.
But the baby's not important in the story.
Sad.
Oh, of course not. It's dead. Maybe she killed it too.
Maybe. But anyways,
Go ahead. Yeah.
so that caused a lot of tension in the marriage. They'd only been
Right.
married for a little while at that point. They'd been dating for a while. But so Fred, he worked all the time. He started drinking a lot, and so she kind of did her own thing. And,
Damn, he really sounds like me too.
huh?
Fred's like, oh shit.
Damn,
Doppelganger?
You telling me the future? It's 2023.
True. That's almost 100 years.
It's 100
That could be
years
this
ago.
August.
Yeah.
This happens to me.
Do you have a coat closet, Fred? Because if so,
I do have a fucking cloak closet. Oh
Does
my!
that
It is
cloak-
upstairs.
What's a
It's
cloak
just-
closet?
A close
It's just a closet with coats in it. 'cause
Where you hang
Yeah,
all
you
your
said
meat
cloak.
aprons.
I got fat tongue. I'm sorry.
And that tongue would
Well,
get
I
him
did,
murdered by his wife.
She'd be like, "Yes, he does."
It's 2022. There are no laws now.
Yeah.
Or 2023.
Okay.
Shit.
Damn, you telling me the future.
All
Okay,
right,
go ahead.
continue on. So he was drinking.
he was drinking a lot. He
was
worked all the
thinking.
time. He was grumpy with his employees. Like they were just not on the same page. But they stayed together because it was 1922 and people didn't divorce in 1922. But anyways, so Dolly got to the point where she kind of needed some companionship and
Uh-oh.
she met someone at the factory, a young kid. His name was
Oh.
Otto.
A hot shot in the apron game.
I knew up and comer.
This young gun's gonna take over the apron. business.
Rising up and comer. Up and comer. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Party Fred is a weird Fred.
Party red.
Fred, who's now sponsored by the Live Golf Tournament, they just spelled it wrong.
So
Put your thumb over the E, Fred. Anyway, there you go. Okay. So they were. She met.
she met Otto.
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 Oh,
Otto.
that's
there
that
you
new
go.
Tom Hanks movie.
Oh, maybe it was Tom Hanks. Maybe that's what the movie's based on.
Oh.
It's the story of this hot young apron.
The apron.
It's about aprons. It's an untapped market. No one's
It's
written
like, what
a
if they
good
tie?
movie.
What if they tie behind your waist? And they're like, holy shit. Steve Jobs of aprons.
So your pants don't get dirty?
Like, what if we make it longer?
Stop it.
Too much. Too much.
It's too much.
You're too crazy, Otto Paperman. Whatever your name is. Otto
Apron
Apronman.
man. Otto Apron Man.
Well, no, it was in LA, right? So he's like Otto Rodriguez.
Well, this
probably.
was it was not Rodriguez. It was Halber, I think that's how you pronounce it.
That's disappointing.
Oh, no.
You're very German. He employed a lot of
Oh,
German
okay.
immigrants, yeah, because
Because she might have been from Germany.
well, and he was originally German.
It's a
She
whole
was from
story.
Germany.
Yeah.
And at the end of the story, they're going to be like, and that baby turned out to be Adolf Hitler. Stuck him in 2 weeks in a row.
Was he on here last week? Y'all talked
No,
about
he
him?
didn't show up. Thankfully.
No, I know he didn't show up.
No,
but
we just talked about how Fred admires him.
There's a whole Reddit page
uh-huh.
named Kittler.
With kitty cats?
Yeah, that look like Hitler.
See, Allan, you knew this was going to happen. You got to rein him in, Allan.
I was like, what is this? And it was just like
It was
all
like
little,
cats with a
little
little
cats
color,
with
right?
the
Yeah.
little black, like some of them would have like a black ear. You know how Hitler had
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Aw. Adorable and tragic.
But imagine looking at your cat and being like, damn, he looks like Hitler.
Like,
Like,
fucking Hitler.
yeah.
not name him Hitler?
Weird.
There was one lady, cat looked like Hitler, and she was trying to put like an apron on it, or like an apron, but it kept like throwing his hand up. It kept throwing
Oh, no.
just like
Oh,
one
no.
paw. He just kept throwing one paw.
No, Fred's conspiracy theory this week. Hitler has been reincarnated
to a cat.
and he's taking over Reddit.
Oh
Okay,
my
so
God.
Where were we? So
Otto.
she's banging Otto.
She's banging
Never
Otto.
off.
So yeah, she stared banging Otto. But after a while, the neighbors started noticing that he was like showing up during the day and things like that. So she called it off. And it was around this
9.
point.
Is what she said.
9.
She's like 9.
So
Okay. Yeah, you got to push the narrative. You got to push the story.
Roll the story.
So it was around this time that they were making tons of money. The apron game was crazy.
Crushing it.
He was killing the apron game, and he was like, you know what, damn it, we're so big in Milwaukee, we need to move to LA.
Oh,
We need to
okay.
open
put
another
laces around?
factory.
Take
in
it
LA.
out west. Take it out west.
Right.
So
Okay.
when Otto was doing the nasty, it was in Milwaukee.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
banging in Milwaukee.
Yes.
Right.
So they decided that they were gonna get a house in LA. They were gonna move out there. They were gonna start another plant out that
Yeah.
way.
Oh,
Yeah.
apron factory.
Yeah,
Is Fred out of the
And-
picture, or is he's still in there?
No,
Fred's the man.
Fred is the
Okay.
king of the
Oh,
apron.
Fred's the one who's
apron.
deciding. Okay, I didn't know if
Yeah.
Otto
Yeah,
was
yeah. Otto's
making
the,
moves.
Otto's
had
the
the
side
meat.
piece.
Otto had the meat.
Otto's out of the picture at this point.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right.
Side meat.
We'll talk about Otto later, but right now he's not in the
Okay.
picture.
He
Yes,
killed her.
Yeah,
he killed who?
Everybody.
Yeah.
Killed the momentum. I don't know.
So they move out to LA, and everything, seems to be going well.
Anybody?
Going
Okay.
well.
And then the night of August 22nd, 1922 happens when Fred is murdered. So the police
Still
are
hurts,
again.
doesn't it,
What'd you say?
Fred? He said 100 years ago. It still hurts, doesn't it, Fred? He was so remorseful about it. He fucking pulled the trigger.
All right. So police are investigating what happened, and they knew that he was shot with a 25 caliber. Is that how you say it? I don't know things about guns.
25.
Yeah, 25 caliber pistol.
25 caliber.
They find the shell casings. They don't find the gun, and they find a set of unidentified fingerprints on the doorknob.
Which literally could have been anyone in the world because they
But-
were
Right.
No, but listen, but only on the doorknob to the closet. They don't find any fingerprints
Doorknob.
anywhere else,
Huh?
just on the closet. There's no sign of anyone breaking
crack this
in,
case, Fred.
Yeah.
no forced entry, nothing like that. So they're real
Right.
confused as to how did this person get in? And
Wow.
why are there no fingerprints other than on the closet?
Yeah. Did they?
Nazi ghost.
Okay. I may be jumping ahead, but did they find out whose fingerprints it was?
Don't spoil it.
I'm jumping. I'm sorry.
Fingerprints are what's going to break this case wide open.
Now, so again, it's 1922. So
It's
Right.
not NCIS, bro.
fingerprints.
They was looking through fingerprints.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, man, pretty close. I think it's him.
What do you
It's
say,
not like-
Johnson?
So, they don't really have any way of testing any kind of DNA or
Yeah, nah, they got nothing.
right. So, because they don't really have any evidence,
Yeah,
they kind of just rule it, a burglary gone wrong, basically, and
yeah.
kind of leave it at that. Well, friends start getting worried because Dolly is not acting the way she should about her husband having been murdered. Shocker. It's shocking.
I'm queen of the apron game, baby.
I am German.
Does she keep it all? I mean,
Did she keep what?
Does she inherit the whole apron
Yeah.
factory?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's his wife.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
No, I mean he may
Yeah.
have.
But it is
They could've
1922. I don't know if women
like we
could
just give it to
still
some
own
random
anything.
dude. We don't give it to the women. We give it to that guy.
Yeah, give it to.
So a few days.
Give it to the dead baby. It was a boy.
Aw. It was Raymond.
Still too soon.
Give it
Baby
to
Cameron.
Raymond.
So a few days after Fred was killed, there was an anonymous call to the police. I'm sorry, to Fred and Dolly's home. And Dolly had a friend with her because, she was so scared to be by herself. And so anyways, the friend picked up and the caller asked if there was going to be any kind of reward for information leading to the arrest of whoever killed
Kill Fred.
Fred. Yeah.
I thought you was gonna say, "I know what you did last summer."
It was kind of it may be.
I'm seeing a pattern though, because I think the last story I did had an anonymous caller call in, and yeah.
Pretty much all crimes have anonymous callers. So as long as you have caller ID, you'll never be.
Yeah, that was before caller ID. Actually, when you think about it.
Well, that's
Star 69, that bitch.
That still works?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm gonna try it.
I think it does. I don't know if you can use it on yourself. I mean,
Why wouldn't you?
use it on.
You use it on cell phone?
Yeah, but why? You have the number show up. Why don't you need to star 69 it?
What? Because you can do star 76 and block yourself.
69.
I think it was star 76 or star. You could block your number by dialing star 76 or something like that, and then
just don't call people.
People would star 69 you, and then you'd be in a lover's triangle.
That's right.
Right.
Of phone 6. Phone 6. Love triangle. 1-900 party hard versus 1-900
Are you doing
Harley
it?
party.
You can't star 69 on a cell phone, apparently.
Really?
Do you have to do it in a certain amount of time?
You have to do it in a certain position.
It's different though, because remember star 69, that was the thing. You had to pick it up and then you dial it, and then you have to dial the other number.
And you flip them.
And then that way you don't know who's calling from who.
I gotcha.
Star 69.
That's when you had the flip phone, it would work.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
so
right.
they called, and was there a reward?
Yes, asked if there was I can't say that word.
But what?
Reward. So the detective on the case, Detective Klein, felt that whoever made that call was someone who was guilty of doing.
It didn't take much to be a detective in the 1920s.
No, it really
This guy's
didn't.
a fucking genius.
It didn't. I mean, what are you going to do?
Like
Yeah,
that
what
guy
are you
might
doing?
You
know
don't have
something.
DNA. You don't
What you detected?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not any technology.
Look through those papers, Johnson. See if you can find anything.
That's someone around here. Why not?
Must have been a stool pigeon here, see? Yeah.
Oh,
That's why
look. The killer signed a confession. It's right here next to the body. We got it.
What's your name, son? He wrote his name right there.
Yes. There's a little bit of crack next to it. See?
Yeah, Donkey. Want a
So
place
anyway-
to sleep for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
Okay.
he instructed this even more amazing police work.
Right.
Whoever answered the phone
investigate that.
to try to keep them on the line long enough for them to track the phone call.
They could
So
do
that's kind of where they're at. Yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah, because they had the ladies back then.
Yeah, they have the
yeah,
operator.
yeah,
right.
operators.
Like,
But
I'm
that's-
on like 817. Holy shit, it's coming from inside the house.
So the caller didn't call the house back again that day, but that day they did get another lead. So a separate team at the police station was questioning Fred's former plant manager. Harry Voss was his name. And he was the plant manager in Milwaukee, but then he moved to LA. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be somebody you know.
Was he the plant manager in LA too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, they
Yes.
probably transferred him.
Just making
You
sure.
come out
And he
here and
moved
open this plant
right.
up.
Yeah.
Right.
Get these aprons rolling.
Yeah.
Gotta get this. We're behind on aprons.
Yeah.
When Fred died, he tried to help Dolly with the affairs of like, the
I'm
plants.
sure
and
he
stuff.
did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But the investigators wanted to question him to get a little more information from him. And apparently he said that Fred was a very difficult guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was grumpy. He was hard to get along with. He drank all the time
Yep.
and was just like
Check.
no one liked him. He was a
Check.
dick. Well, yeah,
Check.
no one liked him.
Fred's like, God damn, I don't really. I feel like you are pulling this from my life.
But oh god, sorry.
Uh-oh. You good? Find
So
your
they were
place.
while they were moving the factory, Fred, there was
Yeah.
an apron shortage. And they were like, "Man, there's an apron shortage."
Chain issues.
They're
Because of
like,
the war in Japan.
Thanks, Harding. Thanks, Warren G. Harding, current president of the United States of America, for this apron shortage that's destroying our business.
Look at me. I'm all dirty as shit. Every time I make a pizza, get my pants dirty. Flour everywhere.
What happened?
So this guy Harry also went on and on about all the people who hated Fred
Sure.
because everyone hated Fred.
That's right. Everybody hates Fred.
You should name that.
And,
That's the name of the fucking podcast.
And one of the people that really stood out to the investigators was a guy named Edward Flute.
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 Flute. He's a flautist.
He was a German immigrant.
Oh, my God.
That's shocking.
Yes. Oh,
And-
Germans.
Well, he hired a lot of German people at his
Yeah.
factory because he was
Right.
German. Yeah.
All right. Keep it in the family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Creating a master race of aprons.
Yeah, keep it in the German neighborhood.
He said aprons can be made by the Germans.
But anyways, so
You know how to
Edward
put the
Flute.
frill on the outside.
Damn it, Helga.
So he was hired by Fred, and he was actually a convict before he started working.
Oh, shit.
I guess he still was a convict,
Yeah.
working.
Once a
It doesn't go
convict,
away.
always
Yeah.
a convict.
But he actually he lived with Fred and Dolly for a while. Like they were pretty close. Like they tried to help him out. But anyways, for some reason or another,
Maybe a little
Fred
threesome
fired
action.
him. Fred fired him.
Mm-hmm.
And after
Big spinning
Edward
mark.
after Edward was fired, he ended up going back to prison.
Oh,
Oh.
his old job.
Yeah.
He got his old job back.
So while he was in jail or in prison, he started sending a lot of like threatening letters to Fred and Dolly. So, police heard that and they thought, okay, this is probably the guy. He was out to get him. He was already pissed at him. So this guy looks like
Fits the bill.
he fits the
Meh.
bill. Yeah.
Bra.
But
It's California, Fred.
or not but
Drop.
he also they found out got out of prison right before Fred was killed, which made him look even
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And that was out in Milwaukee. So after he got out of prison, he found out where Fred and Dolly were living in LA, and so he came out west too. Like all these things are really making him look very guilty.
Very
Not correct.
guilty.
Yeah.
Very sus, bruh.
However, the
Okay.
cops were because 1922, the cops were never able to find him.
Right.
Right.
He turned left instead of right.
Yeah.
They
He moved
went
one
right
apartment
over.
over. And he
But
was
it's
never
okay.
heard from again.
Yeah. But it's okay because he didn't do it. Anyway, so
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't
Right.
him.
My man.
Aw,
just a little red herring.
My
I
man.
never know.
I'm glad to hear that it wasn't the guy you most suspect.
You most
Yes.
suspected.
It wasn't the
what you
convict
get
Glass
judging.
sending-
onion-esque situation for him.
Man, I knew who that movie was. Who did that shit? The first murder
In what?
in the Glass
Glass
Onion.
Oh.
Yeah,
I didn't watch the Glass
Hey.
Onion.
That's it. It was,
Oh, it was
really
good.
I thought it was great.
Oh,
But I knew who did it. Like,
no. Shut up.
It was that guy.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yep. Okay.
Actually, it was
William
a chick.
Dafoe. So when William Dafoe pops up, get ready.
Just waiting for it.
Just wait a studio audience for that. All right. So anyway, you threw us the red herring.
Yeah. So, with all this happening, they're like, shit, we don't really have anything to go off of.
All
Right.
Maybe we'll sit down and talk to Dolly, who was
Oh, good
there.
idea. Good idea, Master.
Yeah, it's about
She's the last one they talk to.
Oh, yeah. No, at this point, they have not questioned her
Oh my God.
because
7
she was
years
a victim.
later.
She was a
Yeah.
woman. She
She's
couldn't
a
do that.
woman. She can't kill
Well,
nobody.
even in the
Yeah.
closet, so what
Ah.
can they really get at? What could they glean from
Women, they can't
mean-
kill people. They don't have the balls for
This
it.
broad ain't got the meat aprons to kill a man.
But, they could have asked her some questions.
Right.
Sure.
so-
Yeah, I mean, she
I'm
was
sure they did. They were
there.
probably like, "Hey, while we're investigating, would you mind making us some sandwiches?
I know your husband's dead. and
Like, how about some
everything.
coffee while we investigate your husband's murder, bitch?"
Could you iron my pants?
Paul,
So when they talked to her,
hurry up and get the blood out of this floor, out of this carpet. We're gonna rent this apartment this afternoon. Sorry. There was no such thing as crime scene cleanup. It was just a lady, whoever the closest lady was, they just made her do it.
Yeah.
Hey, little girl, get this blood off the street.
Hey, you there? You're not dead. You're barely bleeding. Hurry up and make us something to eat.
so
Oh.
the only thing they really talked to her about was the lights in the house. What lights did they leave on when they left?
Oh,
Which is a weird thing to.
The electricity police.
Yeah.
We're here for the electric company. Huh?
We're gonna-
All these lights are on.
yeah, we're gonna find you 3 cents, bitch. You're ruined. Your life is ruined. Apron Factory's gonna fold.
So they asked her what lights were on when they left the house, and she said that they left a light on in the upstairs bedroom and left one on the porch, so that they would be able to see when they got back.
They're like, you're full of shit.
And-
You did this.
So, other than that, the police really didn't ask her
They're like,
any other
"Have a great day,
questions.
though."
That's what I'm saying. You can't even be weirded out by this
Despicable.
because it's so ridiculous. The whole thing is
How did
ridiculous.
humans survive to this point in history where we are now?
So nothing else was asked of Dolly other than what lights they left on. It didn't crack the case wide open, which is shocking. So now
Get it?
we have
Lighting joke. 1920s light joke. You get electrocuted all the time. Shocking. Anyway. She's gonna punch me in the throat after this. It was over.
No, I didn't get it for a second.
Let me enlighten you.
Hey, that's twice. That's twice I made that pun last week that I didn't even realize I made it. That was funny.
I know, that was so funny. Anyway,
I was just like, holy shit.
So Dolly and some of her friends go down to the funeral home to identify Fred's body. So all of this is all of the stuff about the murder is kind of happening within the last, within a couple of hours.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
It's not
Because
like-
I was getting confused too because
I thought this was like time had elapsed.
Flout.
Yeah, no. So
Flout
Flynn-
happened like maybe a year or two before the murder, right?
Yeah. So the flute guy, that he was in prison, but he had just gotten out of prison
when he was made
that morning.
plant manager.
No. That's Harry. Don't worry about the flute guy. The flute guy was the guy who had lived with them and was suspect for a little while.
Yeah. I thought he was a plant manager too.
No, he went back to jail. No, he worked with them. They tried to help him, and then he went back to jail.
After he got fired.
Right. But he wasn't the plant manager. He was just some...
Harry was the plant manager. Harry told them about the Edward guy.
Right. Harry Styles is the guy you need to think about.
Harry Voss.
Oh, Voss.
Harry
Voss Wolf.
Yes. So
Voss rhymes with boss. I am the manager. I'm also German.
I am the manager.
So they went. You keep getting me off track.
We can take a quick break. We got to take a break. So, okay, let's take a quick break.
And we'll get back on track.
Back with the second half, or maybe not half, I don't know, of Black Lincoln Collective Podcast, and we'll find out who killed all of these motherfuckers.
Who killed Fred?
It's just one guy.
Fred. Who murdered Fred?
The Black Lincoln Collective Podcast will return after a word from our sponsors.
Farty, come here, boy. Farty, hey. Oh, what? Are you trying to tell me something, boy? What? The Black Lincoln Collective Podcast? What? BLCpodcast.com? And Twitter? And YouTube? Farty! Thank you so much. Boy, good boy, Farty.
What happened? All of these apron motherfuckers. Apron loving motherfuckers. All right, so pick up where we left off because I am ready to find out who killed Fred.
Okay, so Dolly goes down and identifies the body, and
yep, I killed him. I killed that guy.
I did that shit.
And Fred was buried on August 28th, so 6 days after he was murdered.
Okay.
You know, they did a lot of investigation on his body.
And the third day he rose from the dead.
So they never figured out what was going on. They still are like, I guess it was a burglary gone wrong. Mm-hmm. So they didn't have any leads, nothing like that.
Did they find the watch at all? Did they look for the watch?
Yeah, they should have checked the pawn shops.
Just wait.
Okay, sorry. Are we too detective-y? Are we too master detective-y?
Look at that. Better than the 1920s.
Yeah. You're already doing better than the police.
No, that's the thing. Is in the 1920s, I'd have been like, "Oh, I can get away with just saying this is a murder or like a robbery gone wrong. We'll do no more investigating. Have a good night. Let's go on." Let's get out of here by 4:30 today, Johnson.
What a great time to be a criminal, though. Like,
oh yeah,
Like if I lived back then, I'm not a bad person, but if I lived back then, I would get into some. Because the only thing keeping me from doing terrible stuff is the fact that I'm so terrified. Yeah. So like, I mean, just go rob a store.
The person
because like now,
she's like,
it's not worth the risk.
For fun.
Now it's not worth the risk because the odds of getting caught are like so high.
Astronomical.
Because
Yeah.
they
But like,
track you on your phone. They got fingerprints. Like
they
be
cameras
places.
on every street. You know what I'm saying?
Back then, you could change your hat, and they'd be like,
Well, damn.
"He's a genius."
He opened the umbrella. Shit.
Well, and back then, you could also just skip town and make up a social security number.
Yep.
No, everyone's like, all right, well.
$5, you get on a train, it'll take you halfway across the country. You know what I'm saying?
You can just start a new life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or rob that town, then take the train somewhere else and just keep robbing.
Well, that's what they used to do, man. They just take a horse and go.
What's funny, though, this is off topic a little bit, but there was a guy that they found. He had passed away. I think it was in Florida. And they realized it was an old man. When they went in.
Was that the one in the garbage bin?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, but this guy, no. That sounds like Florida. When they started investigating, because it was like a natural death.
Yeah.
But they realized that this guy had no fingerprints. And they found a whole bunch of different birth certificates and IDs.
Oh, it was that dude, EB.
Hey, don't be talking about me like that.
No, we're joined by a longtime friend of the show.
Here it's story time with Shanna. Shanna?
China.
Sound like Jabba the Hutt.
China.
So, hey, do you know anything about this case, Satan? Dolly and Fred?
Oh, yes. Dolly was a nice piece of ass. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She was banging. Woo, yeah. And sometimes Otto would show up. Ooh.
Oh, well, yeah, Satan doesn't care. Satan just loves love.
Yes. Loves love.
I'm all about
love.
It's that sexy mustache.
He's like, I have sexy
my
mustache.
Look at that. I got a German mustache, dude.
German.
You guys talking about
when you torture Dolly.
It was my meat all along. Yeah.
When you torture Dolly, does your mustache change into a Hitler mustache?
Oh, yes. Yes.
That's how she sees you?
Yes. I'd be like, hey.
It's like whatever country it is, it changes.
That's right.
The thing that goes down,
When I'd go to Viking land, I'd have the Viking mustache. And when I go to the South, I'd have the Southern mustache. And when I went California,
Master of disguise.
I'll tell you one thing, Jada, that it seems like the more and more we talk to Satan, the more often it becomes mustache chat.
My mustache is sexy.
It's great that he has that. I'm just glad that he has a hobby that he likes. So much.
I take care of my mustache.
All right, say, well, do you have any clues that you can drop me and Fred about who did this murder so we can solve it?
Oh yeah,
a clue, Fred. A clue, Satan.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about it. I'll give you a clue.
We just need a clue so you can. We don't want you to tell us because we know you know.
Oh, of course I know.
We just want you to help us solve it because that's what we've been tasked with.
Okay. The person that killed Fred.
Definitive answer.
The person that killed Fred?
Yes.
Was a murderer.
Oh, look at that. That's a Satan clue right there. Get the hell out of here.
All right. Well, I'm going to get out of here. And remember, seasoned greetings from my family to yours. And you guys have a good time now.
All right, bye, Satan. See you later.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
I'm watching you. I know about that.
Leave me alone. Get out of here, Satan.
Yeah, and Dolly was a nice piece of ass. Yeah. All right. Well,
All right.
we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Dirty.
Drink with dirt.
Well,
All right. So, continue the story.
Okay. So
We're never going to solve this, friend.
the investigators are trying to do their jobs, and they're still
Failing miserably, yes.
yeah. Well, again, this is about a year and a half later. They're still investigating everything, and they're still wondering. The Detective Clyde, is just like, I still don't understand. Like, why did they take the watch and leave the wallet full of cash? Like, no burglar would do that.
Right.
And so
they took the wallet full of cash.
Yeah, probably.
Like, they took the watch and the wallet. I just don't know why.
It just doesn't make sense.
They also pulled out one of his fillings. That's weird.
So this was really bothering the detective. He was like, I got to figure this out because this is not. And so he also had a bad feeling about Dolly because his thing was like, why would the burglar leave the key sitting right there beside the door, just waiting for someone to unlock the door and get her out?
Right.
You know, and the only fingerprints they found were on that doorknob. Like, who is this person? How did they immediately know that they were going to be home? Why was there no sign of them breaking in?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he continues to do a little digging around and trying to figure out,
dig it up.
You know, huh?
Dig it up. Dig it up. Trying to dig up the evidence.
So he couldn't figure out what was going on, and they started to try to figure out if there's something, if the closet was like the clue. Like, was there some kind of like
gateway to Narnia
there? Or, yeah, like, is there
Haunted that shit like Mama or whatever.
Because they're like, was there some way, because they're still thinking it's her. He thinks it's her, that she's the one who did this.
Yeah, he's stuck on
Dolly. But how could she have locked herself in the closet, left the key out there? So what's the magic trick? Right.
Yeah, Houdini.
He goes in and he examines the closet. He's like, maybe there's a fake door in here. Like, there's some way
fake
in
wall,
and out. Right. So, but he couldn't figure out what was going on.
Yeah.
So, hold on.
Couldn't figure
Y'all
it
talk
out.
for a second. So there was no trap door, nothing like that. Nothing weird with the closet. Huh?
It's a regular old closet.
This is
regular closet. So anyways, this continues on for years. They can't pinpoint anything.
Can't figure it out.
And the one cop won't let it go.
The one cop won't let it go.
Johnson.
Damn it, Johnson, it haunts me.
Stickler.
Brah, it haunts me, brah.
So,
where's the frickin' door for the closet, brah?
So he decides, since he can't figure anything out with the house, with the closet, he goes and interviews their friends. He's like, there's got to be something they had to have seen. You know, there had to be something that pointed to her. So, you know, he asked the friends, was there anything off? Like, did you notice anything about Dolly? They said nothing. Well, the neighbors, because he finally got around after a while to interview.
He ain't fucking asked the neighbors? God damn.
Well, he is now.
And the neighbors are the ones who alerted the police.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So,
get back in your domicile.
He
you don't give a shit what you have to say. You're an immigrant.
Fucking Irish. That's what it was.
He starts talking to the neighbors, and the neighbors tell him, you know, they don't really know a ton about the Osterics, but they knew Fred worked all the time, and they knew that Dolly most of the time was hanging out with her brother.
I ain't heard about little brother.
Right. Well, neither had Detective Klein, because she didn't have a brother. And so he was like,
I could have solved this shit 3 years ago.
Hopefully I had talked to the If only I had
Like,
asked
wrote
the
it down,
neighbors
like-
and not asked her about her lights in her house. I wasted so much time.
So much time and energy.
He went back to the shop, like the police station the next morning. He's like, got a good tip for you, boys. Start asking people close to the crime. They're like, you revolutionized the game, Johnson. You're the modern day Sherlock Holmes.
Bro.
So she was screwing the other dude too?
somebody.
The neighbor?
Well,
Otto?
it wasn't.
No,
it wasn't a
her brother.
neighbor.
I mean, yeah.
It was the neighbor's
Step
that
brother.
She told the neighbors that it was like her vagabond brother.
Okay.
Man, she
Step
must have been
brother.
banging.
Well, Satan told us that he was. She was.
She's not.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Look at them titties.
Is that really her?
Yeah, that's her.
Wow. She was banging. For 1930. We've been through some shit by
Listen,
then, though.
this was
She's
8 years
much
after
more.
her husband was killed. So I like to think before the
Fred.
stress, maybe she
Oh, B
was-
must have hurt her bad.
That's what's going to haunt you if you turn around too fast in that dark ass room you're in right now. That's who you're going to see. And it won't be like a ghostly version. It'll just be her. She'll be like, hey, what's up?
You should have stayed in the closet.
Yeah, in your closet. Yeah.
You should have stayed in there, man.
All right. Make her go away. Make her go away. I don't like that. All right.
All right, we're getting into the good part.
Okay,
Yes, we
okay.
are.
Okay, so
As always, an hour in, we're into the good part.
it moves fast now.
It's okay.
So, anyways, the neighbor mentioned the brother, and Detective Klein was like, huh, she never mentioned having a brother. And they said that it was very strange because when the police got to the house that night, she was screaming because she was in the closet.
Right.
But they said they hadn't heard any screaming the night that the gun went off or anything like that. She heard the
Yeah.
police come in, and that's when she started screaming. So she wasn't freaking out about her husband or anything like that.
Right.
But it's not a crime to not give a
Be locked
shit.
in a closet.
Yeah.
It's not a
yeah.
crime to lie about having a
To
brother.
not being remorseful.
Right. So Detective Klein, he like talked to Dolly again. She's like, yeah, I have this vagabond brother that comes in and out of town. You know, he doesn't really live anywhere, so you can't really track him down. And which again, 1922.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, Fred. Okay, it's happening in LA. Is there a plausible chance
Oh my God.
conspiracy theory world that this is what started the Bang Bros Incorporated? Sponsor of Fredline News. Sorry, it's just I'm just thinking we're banging the bros in LA.
Yeah. It could be.
I mean, you saw how banging Dolly or a lot of those there was, or whatever the fuck her name
It'd be
was.
like
Wahlberg,
the Bang Model T.
So I guess now at this point, you know, we're like almost 2
Bang
years
wagon.
in. Like it's about
Like a
2 years
horse
after.
wagon. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's like 2 years after the murder at this
Okay.
point.
Right.
And Detective Klein just happened to be walking through the courthouse one day at the same time that Dolly's lawyer, Herman Shapiro, was walking through, and the guys stopped, you know, to say hello. They had, yeah, that was his last name.
Oh,
OJ.
Well,
So
Connie's
they
not
stopped,
happy right now.
lineage.
they stopped
Connie's
to chat.
not happy with us.
They stopped to chat because they had, you know, he had worked with him with Dolly and things like that. And it just so happened that Detective Klein saw something shiny in Shapiro's pocket, and he asked about it.
Shiny.
And what do you think it might be?
I think it was a diamond pocket watch.
It was a diamond pocket watch.
It's so shiny.
Shining bright like a diamond.
So it was the exact same pocket watch that was
Fred's
Fred's
watch.
pocket watch.
It's
Yes,
Fred's pocket watch.
right. And it had been made just for Fred. So there wasn't.
Of course not. Who else gonna be pulling? Only the apron baron gonna be able to pull diamond studded pocket watches, man. That's
not
that's
longer.
He invented drip.
Yeah, you say that, and then I've been thinking about this in my head the whole time. Is like this barren ass, like cabin-esque room that they live in, where there's just like a table and like all the wood is splintery and it's uncomfortable even to exist in. But now that you mentioned it, yeah, they're fucking rich.
They're rich, yeah.
They
got a coat closet,
That
man.
changes the whole thing.
They got a coat closet.
We have a coat closet now.
It's true. It's true.
And now I could actually, one of us could
And
fit
now
in
she
it.
can push me in it and murder me.
That's what.
That's really why I spent all weekend cleaning it out. I've been planning this.
Okay, so
you're gonna find a chicken bone outside.
So Shapiro.
So Detective Klein was like, "Hey, Herman Shapiro, maybe come down to the police station with me because let me ask you some questions about that pocket watch."
Yeah.
And so they go down to the station, and this is where the crazy shit happens.
Shit.
Okay. So so Herman and Dolly, they're not just client and lawyer. They're also dating. They're lovers.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
And he said she had given him that pocket watch for his birthday. And he just assumed it was something, which to me, I'm like, you're her lawyer. Like the only key evidence in this whole case was the damn pocket watch.
Was the
But anyways,
fucking pocket watch.
yeah, but okay.
Didn't take much to be a lawyer apparently in the 20s.
It wasn't a bar. That was
You did like, yeah, I passed that exam.
Yeah.
Good. You can like write it down.
Yes.
I have passed the bar exam.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay.
Well, if you could
Lawyer
probably,
thing.
if you could spell, then you passed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he assumed that she had that pocket watch special because she's rich.
Right.
That she had it special made for his birthday. And he didn't realize that it had been her husband's. And he also didn't realize that it was like the biggest piece of evidence in the entire case.
How?
I
Great
don't
lawyer.
know. And so they called Dolly down to the station and they start questioning her. And she says, "Oh, funny story. I actually found the pocket watch while I was cleaning a few months ago. And so I just gave it to him because there was no need in keeping it. And you guys didn't need to know that I found it while I was cleaning up the house." And she's like, "I didn't want to throw it away. So I just gave it to him."
Throw it away.
Yeah. She's like, "You know what? My lawyer's birthday's coming up. I'd like to give him a nice gift."
Yeah. It was like, yeah.
I'm
As
just
we
giving a
all
key piece of
do.
evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Instead of I like that the only options in this was throw away the pocket watch
Yeah.
or give it to your lawyer for his birthday. So anyways, they talked to her about it, and while she's down at the station, she kind of knows she's not stupid. She's like, this is probably.
I mean, she murdered the dude, so she knows what's up.
So anyways, the other Detective Klein, was like, "Why didn't you tell us that you found it? Like, you knew that it was a crucial piece of evidence, and like it's been missing for some time now, and this is what we've been, the thing that we've been looking for."
Right.
And so, anyways, sorry.
Get your place.
Where am I? So anyways, I lost my place.
This
It was
episode
you.
of the Black Lincoln Collective Podcast is sponsored by 23andMe. Hey, want to find out if you're related to the guy you murdered? 23andMe.
23andMe.
We'll look your DNA up. We don't give a shit.
Shapiro.
So Shapiro,
You can give your murder weapon to
Yeah.
the lawyer, and he'll wear it.
Oh, they never found the murder weapon,
right?
by the way.
I mean, it was his pocket.
Well, you're
the
not
whole
supposed
time.
to tell us this till the end.
It's not important
It's
that
the
they
end.
never found the murder weapon.
Hmm.
It's not
This is the
important.
climax.
So,
story.
anyways, they looked into the lawyer because they thought, okay, maybe this guy is the guy that killed him because it couldn't be
Right.
Dolly. We know that.
Right.
But we know she's connected, but maybe he killed her or killed him. But he hadn't actually known Dolly until after the murder. That's when they met. So
probably didn't help her then.
No. So there was another guy that they found out Dolly was dating at the same time that she was dating Shapiro. And his name was Roy.
Oh,
so,
American name.
Yeah, well, Klum, Roy Klum. Yeah. So she's dating 2 guys at this time.
Jesus.
Yeah,
She
well,
was
she's
a
a looker.
whore. She was
don't you slut shame her.
You see her child
her saggy boobs.
So,
did you see how long her pants were?
I think it had something to do with the money. I'm sure the money makes a lot of people attractive, you know.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the beaver tails.
Well, I don't know what you're into, Allan.
Beaver tails.
Yeah, you know.
But
like
That's
beaver
always a good
tails.
name for the episode, Fred.
Huh?
We call
Beaver
it Beaver
Tails.
Tails.
Beaver tails.
That's
Beaver
funny.
tails. Woo.
Okay, anyway, so
I'm glad y'all got that. I really am. I don't feel so alone now.
Okay, so Roy finds out.
I'm sorry. Can't help it.
Roy finds out that Dolly has Shapiro and that they're dating. So when he finds out that she's dating another man, he gets jealous. So he goes down to the police department and he's like, you know what? Fuck this bitch. I'm going to tell everything I know. So he goes down to the police station and he tells the police officers that not too long after Fred was killed, Dolly came to him and gave him a .25 caliber revolver wrapped in a handkerchief and told him to go throw it where no one could find it. And he said, okay. And so he did.
Put it on her front doorstep and no one ever had it.
Hell no, you accessory to murder.
He threw it to, well, he said he didn't know.
After the fact.
He said that she told him that she had to get rid of it because she knew that Fred had been killed by the same type of gun. And she didn't want police to ask too many questions because she had a similar gun. So they just needed to get rid of it. Yeah. But it wasn't the same gun, is what she said.
Boy.
Makes perfect sense.
People are sounding real stupid.
So
these motherfuckers created the industrial age? Are you serious?
Yeah, I know.
No wonder they had the Great Depression.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'd be impressed by that stupid too.
So he did what she asked him to. He took it and he got rid of it. And that was that. So now the police are like, okay. So she had the pocket watch. She had a .25 caliber revolver, but they still can't they can't pinpoint her. And this guy, Roy Klum, they're looking into him, but they really don't have any proof that he did it.
Yeah.
So anyways, they bring her in for questioning. So they wanted to know why she'd given the gun to Roy. And asked him to get rid of it. Did it have anything to do with the fact, did you kill your husband? Or was it kill your husband? And just like, the pocket watch thing, she was like, oh, yeah, I had the gun laying around the house and I just didn't want to get blamed for it. So I just told him to get rid of it. It's easier that way. So anyways,
you sure are.
They finally arrested her. They finally arrested her in 1923, even though they still didn't have anything to actually pinpoint her. They were like, there's a lot of shit that you have.
It's a lot of circumstantial evidence.
Right. So they arrest her and
Killed
Shapiro. No. So Shapiro gets down to the police station, and because his client is being questioned and things like that, at least they had the sense enough to have a lawyer there, I suppose, even though she seems to be smarter than I am, because she's just saying this shit and it took her all this to finally get arrested. Anyways, Shapiro is, he's down there, everything's being questioned. What's that?
That was Dolly.
This is Dolly's back, man.
Dolly's back. She just dropped the gun off.
She's got me.
She's like, can you put this away from me?
So she's being questioned, and she knows that she is under arrest.
Mm-hmm.
So when there are no detectives or anything in the room, she talks to Shapiro, and she said, hey, I know I'm going to be here for a while, so I need you to do something for me. And he's like, okay. So she's like, I need you to go to my house, and I need you to bring food. Go knock on my attic 2 times. My brother is living in the attic. And if you knock on it 2 times, he'll know that it's someone to trust, who he can trust. Right. But he's going to have food, because he's not going to come down on his own. And so he's like, oh.
The whole time.
So he's like, oh, okay. Well, I will go do that. So he gets to the house. He knocks on the attic. And this guy comes down. They couldn't find the brother because she said it was like a vagabond brother who just moved around everywhere. Remember?
The whole time.
Damn. Well, he knocks on the attic door. The guy comes down. He explains, Shapiro explains, what Dolly had told him. And this guy is like, well, here's the actual story. I'm not her brother.
Oh.
Who do you think it is?
It's her stepbrother. It's Otto.
It's Otto.
Yeah. It was Otto?
It was Otto.
I told you in the beginning it was Otto.
So,
man, we cracked this motherfucker.
Now, Otto was the one that got out of prison, right?
Otto was way in the beginning. The young one.
Oh,
they had dated.
yeah.
The hot shot. Asking
right.
Yeah, the up and coming.
Up and coming. Yeah.
So.
Damn, she put him in the attic.
He tells the whole story. Now, at this point, they had been
attic and closet fetish.
It had been about 8 years since they first started dating, and they never actually broke up. Back in Milwaukee, when neighbors started asking questions, Dolly was like, hey, you know what would be best? Just so no one sees us together. You should just move in our attic. And then when Fred's gone, you can just come down out of the attic, and we can just have sex all the time, and then you can just live in the attic. And he was wanting to be a writer, so he could work on his writing up there.
Fucking hot. Tap.
Yeah. No, he couldn't have. No, he wasn't allowed to have a typewriter.
Oh no!
Because it would make noise, and it would. Fred would hear it.
He had to write his book Anne Frank style.
Yeah, exactly. So,
in a strange twist, he was German, and in a strange twist, he was rescued by a Jew.
So, apparently, he lived up there the entire time they were in Milwaukee, and then when Fred brought up moving to LA, Dorothy was like, "Okay," or Dolly was like, "Okay, that's fine." But exactly, that's what she said. Yeah, I get to choose the house, and it has to have an attic. And he's like, all right, whatever. So she picked the house, and Otto left before they did, and had already moved into the attic of the new house before they got there.
Damn.
So, anyways, what had transpired, because Otto sings like a canary once he's out of the attic.
Right.
Because he's like, I was her sex slave. Like, she helped. And she made me stay up there, and I couldn't leave. And, he didn't have, like, where was he going to go? He had no money. He had no job.
Was it flowers? Yes, Otto's in the attic.
Yeah.
All he had was his peanut butter and his ramen noodles.
Yeah,
and notebooks.
he's feeding them powdered donuts with the cyanide on it.
But he never actually admitted to the murder.
Yeah.
Until he found out like the lies that Dolly had told, and then he's like, you know what? Fuck this lady.
Mhm.
So he finally admitted that what had happened that night was that he heard too many names.
Fred.
He heard Fred and Dolly fighting, and he was concerned for Dolly. So he came down, and Fred's like, holy shit, where did this man come from?
I told you
he
to
was
call
like,
coming from inside the house.
You look familiar, just 8 years older.
So they get into a fight, and Otto kills Fred. And then Dolly and Otto are like, shit, what do we do now?
Right.
And they decide, he just like shoves Dolly in the closet, he locks her in there, and then he goes back up in the attic with the gun.
And the pocket watch.
And the pocket watch, yes.
Yeah.
And it's weird to
This
me.
fucking
You would think that the cops would have looked in the attic, but
Right.
They didn't look anywhere.
Yeah.
They were literally like, hey, dead guy, who killed you? Oh, he doesn't have anything to say. We give up.
yeah.
This guy's not going to be any help.
So he admits to that. And now him and Dorothy are on trial. And they actually charge them with manslaughter.
They can't get him on murder.
They could get him on murder. Well, I guess it was like self-defense is what they were claiming.
Because he said he was concerned.
And the craziest thing is
They got off.
they did.
They fucking got off.
Yeah. They both got off. Neither of them were convicted.
Because of the money.
Mm-hmm.
The money.
And the moral of the story is you can do anything.
You can kill Fred and get away with it.
If you got money.
That's right.
Yeah, OJ.
So she went on. She got married again and lived happily ever after.
She married Otto?
No. Oh, no.
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 I don't betray her trust.
Yeah. Otto sang too loud. You should just stay up in that damn attic.
Yeah,
I will only live in a basement or on a deck. I refuse to live in an attic again.
But he
Like,
did.
no
he
deal,
did-
Otto.
He did admit that after Fred was. Here's what I also don't understand. Because Fred had been dead for over a year by the time they found him. Why was he still living in the attic?
Yeah, what the hell, man?
Like, let the man come out. Like,
yeah, just give him some money and say, get the fuck out of here.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's over.
Right. Yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
mean, it just.
Maybe he
or
just
let him sleep in the spare bed for God's sake.
I'm telling you,
at
because
least.
you so rich, you think you got you. Oh, I'll
do
never.
it. Yeah.
I'll never get caught. And
He was tortured.
Yeah.
Well, back then anyway.
He was tortured.
That's it.
Well, that's what he said.
Finding
He said that
movies.
he was a slave.
Oh,
Sure, well, it sounds like he
sex
was.
slave.
Yeah.
You would just knock on the food to bang him and give him food, or like knock on the attic, give him food and bang him. Like,
I think it's really sad that he would just stay up in the attic until someone brought him food. Like, he's a grown man.
Yeah, what if she like went to jail and never
He hadn't
told
seen
anybody?
sunlight or
like went on vacation for a week.
Well, and that's the thing is she could have gotten away with it if she hadn't have told them to do that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, if he just held on to the shit, like
he was just gonna go knock on an attic door. Not me.
I'd have got the fuck out of there. I'd
me
have got some
too.
money and be like, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah. Well, I think that's part of the reason why he didn't get convicted. Because even then, even in the 20s, I think people were like, well, there seems to be a lot going on here. Like,
Yeah.
this grown
You've
man.
been through enough.
Yeah.
because he didn't do it, so he couldn't have done it. See,
Yeah, you've been through
That wasn't
enough,
too
sir.
bright either.
Huh?
Look at that face on
Wasn't
that
too
woman.
bright.
You've been,
Yeah.
you suffered too much.
Yeah.
like how many years?
Jesus.
Poor child.
But you know what the best part
Oh
is?
Jesus!
The best part is she still got to keep all the money because she
Sure.
wasn't convicted of murdering him.
Yeah.
So she murdered the man. Everyone knew she had a hand. She played a hand in murdering him,
Mm-mm-mm.
and then she got to keep the money.
God,
I'm telling you,
she
the
got
20
man
is
the
a
Aprons
great time to
business.
be a murderer.
And the apron business. Golly.
Yeah, and the apron business. Yeah.
Big Apron. You don't play with Big Apron.
No, that's around it. That's exactly, Fred. That's where Hollywood Big Apron was born. Well, thank you for sharing your lovely true story of your life.
Right.
That you experienced, dear. I assume.
Yes.
No, so okay, Fred.
Yeah.
You think it was Otto the whole time?
Yeah, it was Otto. I knew it was her. I knew it was her.
About the attic.
Yeah, the attic was a twist.
But again,
I thought it was her.
Chapter-
I thought she had done it. I didn't realize I
Yeah.
forgot about Otto because Shayna said forget about Otto. He's gone.
See, she's throwing
she
you.
threw that at you.
Yeah, twisting your brain.
Yeah, gotcha. Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah,
I thought it was like at first. I thought it was a jail dude. Was that Flout?
Edward.
Flute. Yeah, Flute.
I like that you're trying to make him sound classier.
Flout.
You know, if you look his name up in the phone book, it would be Flout Edward.
Flute Edward.
All righty. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to you starting your own podcast with just you and Fred talking about murders.
Me and Fred.
Only murders in the podcast.
Oh yeah, murders in Hamilton.
A guy's named Fred.
Yeah, only guys. Yeah, we only talk about murders of guys named Fred.
I think a Murder in Hamilton podcast would be fantastic. I
Look
listen
at
to
that.
Hamilton when I'm having a bad day in the lab.
I've been known to murder some Hamilton in my day.
Here we go again.
I will agree with you on that.
I'll murder that shit.
Well, we're gonna get out of here. Again, thank you so much for joining us on the 75th episode of the Black Lincoln Collective Podcast. We'll see you next week. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah, I'll see you later.
Meeting.
We are laughing. And we are very good friends. Good buddies, sharing a special moment.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Just hang loose, blood. She gonna catch up on the rebound on the Mets side.
Oh, what a day. What a funny day.
Well, that's all, folks.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Goddamn hit. Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
As you know, I'm a man of special needs.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley. And don't call me Shirley. And don't call me Shirley. And don't call me Shirley.